It's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, GuMPers.
Hola, bom dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show. How are you today? Tudo bem? Como estás? Do let us know in the chat. Fabulous show lined up for you this morning. And another great show tomorrow morning, of course. Philomena Friday. Philomena joins us for Feel Good Friday tomorrow. But today on Indie Portugal Thursday, Cátia Lima, she of the Beyond Lisbon blog, is back with us. Is back with us this morning with 4 of her favorite indie brands, and she'll be telling us all about them. They are in the GuMPer store if you want to take a quick peek at those. Because, of course, if you're this sort of person, let's just put this into perspective, shall we? Me in November, I will make a beautiful handcrafted gift for everyone I love. Me in December, I love 2 people. Best intentions, right? The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and no good deed goes unpunished. And if you're that sort of person who likes to be a bit thoughtful about Christmas and what you're going to give to people, but then time runs out and you just end up going to a petrol station, gas station, or the local supermarket on Christmas Eve, we might be able to help you this morning. She will be here talking about the São Martinho festival, not of São Martinho de Porto, where we were yesterday. Take a look at that view. That was our view yesterday from the wonderful Bohemia restaurant, where they very kindly allowed us to set up the equipment for the outside broadcast. And we had a wonderful conversation with Ken and Jen and Ken, and also with James and Anna. And that was our view yesterday. Thank you to everybody who came along to the meetup yesterday in São Martinho de Porto. Really lovely vibe, beautiful November day. It was wonderful, sat out on the terrace with that view, having a lovely chat and just hanging out with people. I was there till, I think, about 4:30. And you were only scheduled for between 1 and 3. Find out more about that and other meetups all around Portugal at portugalmeetups.com, or just check in on our meetups website tab on our page, on our homepage. Just click on meetups, and you'll be able to find out more. And I would like to hear more from of more meetups around the country so that I can list them there. Very useful to people who are scouting. People are starting to build their scouting trips around the meetup. So if you've got one and you'd like people who aren't living here yet to come and join you, to pop in and say hi, send me a message about your meetup. Maybe a nice photograph of the view like this one, or some of the people that are there, and the details of when and where you meet. Thank you very much to Carl at goodmorningportugal.com. But I just interrupted myself, didn't I? Telling you about Cátia Lima joining us from around 9 this morning. And she will be telling us about 4 new indie brands that she absolutely loves and has blogged about. And will be some nice suggestions for you as we make our way towards Christmas, which she'll also be talking about. Now, it's not like me to be talking about Christmas so early, but I think under these circumstances, I can make a valuable exception because it familiarizes you with some independent Portuguese brands who you can support. And I think it's very important to do so, to support the Portuguese independent brands. And we'll be finding out more about 4 of them at least this morning. And do please add your favorites as well, and I'll make sure they're added to the GuMPer store. Another wonderful highlight this morning is that my voice is going. No, well, I guess that could be a highlight for some people, couldn't it? But if we take a look at what I'm sharing on the screen now, the wonderful Gavin Holligan, soul jazz singer, from the United Kingdom, ex-professional football player, no less, turned musician. He was probably always a musician, wasn't he? But isn't that amazing when you've got skills where you could be on the football pitch or be in the studio and on the stage? And he's remarkable. I heard a tune of his, This Hotel Is Closed, on Jazz FM recently, and he's got a new single out called Same Old Story. And I love it. It's a great and very appropriate tune of these times. It's almost like not a satire exactly, but a very biting insight into what's going on in the world at the moment. And I sent him a message. I love your tune, Gavin. Expecting maybe to hear back from an agent or a manager. Would it be possible to play your tune on the show? Get a message back within a few hours from Gavin saying, yeah, sure, I'm fascinated by Portugal. So who knows, he might even join us later on, but I'll be playing his tune. Isn't that great that he very kindly is allowing us to play a tune as we conclude the show today? If he's able to join us before then, of course, I'll give it a spin before while he's with us. But it's a wonderful song, I'm at the very least, you'll hear it at the end of the show, like we did the other day. And when we play Clive Gardner's tune, it's a lovely way to end the show with a fantastic bit of quality music. Same old story. Then that'll be Gavin Holligan, and we'll play that later on today. Really looking forward to that, and so delighted that when I wrote to him, he wrote back, and not only wrote back, but said he was fascinated by Portugal. Isn't that lovely? So who's in this morning? Who's in to witness this spectacle? This morning. How's it gone for you with the midterms? I wonder. I've got something I want to share with you about the midterms, and I don't know if Mrs. M is joining me or not this morning, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think we had an unexpected child rearing incident this morning that she is dealing with. I'll let you into an insight. Our youngest woke up screaming that she'd put a sock in his cereal. Now, there are many things we do like first thing in the morning, but a sock is not one of them in our cereal, right? And she had, let me just put the record straight here. She hadn't done that. He must have dreamt it. But then again, what makes a child dream that his own dear mother is putting a sock in his cereal? I shall move on. T-Duck, good morning to you. Bon dia, Greg GuMPer. Great to see you yesterday, mate. And Susie's in as well. Hi, all, volunteering at the Billy Bishop Legion for Remembrance. Is that like the British Legion? Yeah, I guess it must be if you're gathering for a Remembrance Day event. So can't stay. Once again, we'll watch on replay. Bon night to you, Suze. I do appreciate you joining us at all at this ungodly, unearthly hour. Oh, talking about things godly, earthly, unearthly, however you might perceive them. That full moon's a bit persistent, isn't it? Up the street this morning, walking the dogs. That big old full moon is still asserting itself into our consciousness and our vibrations this morning. Quite extraordinary. There you go. Yeah, and while I was out walking the dogs, actually, I think one of my pictures has gone missing there. Anyway, I captured the sun shining on the new children's playground, which you can see the rebar has been laid in place for a concrete floor there. And if you look in the foreground, there's an egg, a mysterious egg. As I was taking the photograph of the sun reflecting on the new playground and the building work that's going on, there was quite a large egg on the floor. Why? Is it a dragon or a unicorn, maybe? We were talking about unicorns yesterday, weren't we? Unicorn factory of Lisbon. Well, we have maybe the unicorn factory of São Martinho de Portugal. That might be a unicorn egg. And it was bigger than a chicken's egg, not as big as an ostrich egg, probably around a sort of a small goose egg size. Wow. Have these been popping up all over Portugal? I wonder this morning. Have you been around to the local wastelands of your local environment to see if other eggs have appeared? Like the tornado that appeared. If we get a chance, we'll play that tornado video that was shared on the Portugal News yesterday that James shared with me. Great to see you yesterday as well, James, of course. And all the gang. It was a lovely atmosphere at the meetup yesterday, I have to say. So, okay, let's see what other messages are incoming this morning. Francis in again. Good to see a lot of you this week, Francis. That was great yesterday, wasn't it? And when we had Shane on the show. What a legend. 6'6" of him. And that amazing voice from, where was he from? Louisiana. He was incredible. And Drow F is in, T-Duck. We've got a lot of material from T-Duck. Thank you for that. Deep Thought from Leslie Towns. What is this? Oh, from Bob Hope. Leslie Towns, Bob Hope. Oh, he was born or christened Leslie. Okay, interesting. Bob Hope, Deep Thoughts. You don't necessarily associate deep thoughts with Bob, do you? You expect pithy one-liners from Bob Hope, but a deep thought from him a little bit later on. A Portuguese saying. Let's do that now. I'd love to give us all a little bit of Portuguese training. Portuguese saying then, Deus ajuda a quem que do madruga. God helps those who wake up early. There you go. The early bird catches the worm. The funky worm catches the worm there. And a Hugo Nuno, let's do this now as well. Who knew then that Portuguese academics established the University of Coimbra in 1290? Talk about early birds catching worms. 1290, making it one of the oldest universities in the world. I wonder what it was like in those days to go to university in 1290. I don't suppose there would have been a freshers' week at that point. There probably would have been some dusty academics, probably clergymen, right? Men of the cloth, I suspect. I don't know. Yeah, but I would have thought so. Religious academics and a few very worthy and pious students, I would have thought. But maybe not if in Coimbra. If you've ever been to Coimbra, maybe that's not exactly how it turned out. Anyway, they have a lot of fun there now, that's for sure. At all hours of the night and day in Coimbra. Probably not at this time of day. They're pretty fast asleep, aren't they, after their reveling last night in Coimbra? Or are they reveling at the moment? It can get very noisy in Coimbra because of the students. A lot has changed since 1290. Thank you for that one. Excellent. And dad jokes, let's star those up for later. And we will, of course, try those on Cátia Lima. And by that time, Mrs. M may have joined us. James is in. Bom dia, GuMPers. Feliz quinta a todos. Como va as coisas? How are things with you then, GuMPers? And did you go along that coast road? Was your chauffeur able to do that, James? And you'll cue this morning, quotes that appeal to you, Slug, Mr. Holly. Compassion is not weakness, and concern for the unfortunate is not socialism, says Hubert H. Humphrey. Certainly not. I think, first and foremost, concern for the unfortunate is just a human response, as I think we'll discover when we talk more about São Martinho and St. Martin. He, the saint who split his cape in two. You wondered what I was going to say there, didn't you? But it was his cape that he split in two and shared with an unfortunate along the road. It's rather like the Good Samaritan story, and I think that's why St. Martin was canonized. More about that from Cátia Lima. And Hubert Humphrey was former vice president to Lyndon Johnson in the United States there. So compassion is not weakness, and concern for the unfortunate is not socialism. I guess it might be, but it's more immediate and primal than that, isn't it? Our human concern for the unfortunate. On a good day, Yogi Berra quote of the day: "Love is the most important thing in the world, but baseball is pretty good too." Now, that would, for baseball fans, that's all you need there. All you need is love and a bit of baseball. Thank you very much for that, for the Yogi Berra quote of the day. And you'll cue this there, James. Thank you so much. Joao F is in very early. Good morning, everybody. Hola, bon dia to you. I would say, Joao, tudo bem? And hello to Sue's Thunderduck and the Bayard Slug. Still only three of you. Let us wake up the whole bunch. Bit of that to wake him up this morning. Deagle's in as well. Good morning, Deagle. Bon dia, Carl and GuMPers from a dry mile, Belfast this morning. Oh, we've had the worst of the weather for a change here, possibly, with tornadoes and rain, Deagle. It's the warm wind from southern Europe. You're most welcome. It's all that feijoada we eat here. Tickling Ireland, going to be roasting at 17 degrees today, and a warm night, 12 degrees, little or no rain. Next few days, cows lying in the fields. What a lovely scene. I will dip in. I might have to watch later in a Belfast hospital, getting a small op on my knee. Day producer, what does that mean? It's really to tie you over until you get a total knee replacement, I reckon, in 18 months. What a legend you are, Deagle McKillen. And I'll be on my way. You've reminded me, I'll be on my way to the Algarve later on today. And thankfully, Paul Richards assured me yesterday that the Algarve passport control will be ready for me with a few nice warm pastel de natas. That's so thoughtful. Thank you very much, Paul Richards, for that. And in anticipation of Coach Turner's messages this morning, this is the sort of thing that Cátia Lima is busy doing when she's not on the show. Every morning she posts up a jolly meme or two throughout the week, and this one is for you this morning. All you GuMPers, actually, who attempt the God Squad tips of the day from Coach Turner. My lower back is killing me. There you go. That's my Britney Spears impersonation. So this is adulthood, says Cátia. My lower back is killing me. What are you saying about what you already got for us today, Coach Turner? If you couldn't do your favorite form of exercise, what else could you do? Have I missed a few bits here? Oh, yes, I have. I need to go back. Morning, fellow GuMPers. What warm one here in Hertfordshire as well today. Gardening beckons. Yeah, talk about lower back is killing you then maybe later on. Go steady on that. If it hurts, stop. Which no gardener ever did they? Just a little bit more, just another hour before the sun goes. And you go on to say that you have an Achilles injury, which is preventing you from your normal training. So you literally have the Achilles heel problem there. So I'm working around it with different exercises. And to make good use of that, with a positive reframe, if you couldn't do your favorite form of exercise, asked Coach Turner, what else would or could you do? Perhaps you should do a little of that anyway. and a little bit of what you fancy as well, because that's our philosophy, our manifesto, as the bon viveurs who are growing old disgracefully. A little bit of gentle exercise. Yeah, a little bit of what you fancy does you good, and a little bit of exercise does you good too. Let us know what you're up to. Let's be accountable. Along with those 15 minutes of Portuguese, what are you doing to take care of that glorious temple of a body of yours as well? Speaking of being in Lisbon, were we? I think we were, weren't we, with João F? Yes, I go to Lisbon frequently. T-Duck, I understand you live in Lisbon. I go to Lisbon frequently. Do you think we could meet sometime for a coffee or a beer? I do not wish to impose my presence, of course. It's difficult for you not to, João. You do have, and I'm going to say you have an imposing presence. And I don't mean that in any way badly or negatively. You are a wonderful person. And we do really hugely appreciate what you do for the Good Morning Portugal show, and the expat community. And your presence is grand and excellent. And why wouldn't you impose that and share that with people? So please never apologize for the imposition of your presence, João F. If any of you get a chance to meet João F, take it with both hands, okay? And bon dia to you from James as well. Speaking of being in Lisbon, I'm not sure if you know already or not, but a GuMPer gathering has been organised for Tuesday, the 15th of November. There you go. A chance for you to meet people. I'm sure many others would love to see you there, João F, says James. That's a lovely invitation. Well done. And yes, T-Duck would love to meet up with you as well. Isn't that amazing? And so would Coach Turner. But Hertfordshire's quite a long way from Lisbon. But anyway, give it a couple of years and you may well be rubbing shoulders in the capital. So there you go. All right, Ola Bondi from Owen. Yes, here he is.
Featherman Friday.
Dulcet tones, good morning to you. Owen, thank you very much for singing that jingle and for being here this morning. Carl can give you my number. There you go. I'm happily being social secretary for João F. I'll connect you two up. Slug, what is João F saying to you? Thanks, I'm aware of that, but I still don't know if I'm going to make it for lunch. Do you know until when I have to make a decision about it? About 5 minutes before. I don't think any booking is required. That's what I was saying yesterday. So good about what I think is so good about our São Martinho de Porto meetup. We're at a new venue. It flustered the establishment a little bit with us turning up. I think there must have been about 20 of us there, right, by the end of it, which I maybe could have tipped them off. But Nelson never gets flustered by however many people turn up at Palmeira. And he sent us a nice message yesterday. And he said, São Martinho is the best. He's doing a refurb at the moment. But the great thing about the meetup is no one has to say if they're coming or not. It's on between 1 and 3. If you're on the WhatsApp group, you get told where it's going to be, usually at Palmeira. If it's not, I'll give you a little bit of a warning as to a venue change. Turn up if you want to. Don't come if you don't want to. Simple as that. Nothing too complicated about that. And that's what I'd recommend if you're organising a meetup. It can be a bit embarrassing when you sat there on your own, which thankfully that hasn't happened ever, the meetup we have in São Martinho de Porto. But the Billy No Mates possibility is there if you don't get RSVPs. Anyway, slash that mic button, says T-Duck. And I'm going to play for you now while I drink the rest of my tea before it gets too cold. Or if I got any more memes or pics I want to share with you. Oh, yes, what is the big moon? While I was out walking the dogs. There you go. That's the progress of the children's playground. But the sun reflecting on the impromptu pond that is gathering there on the plastic membrane, rebar at the ready, and I think that's going to be flooded with concrete quite soon. So if you are watching and you have any bodies to dispose of, concrete will be poured into there quite soon. Only kidding. That's a very tasteless joke at this time of the morning. There's a bit of food for thought. Apparently, over 60% of Portuguese fancy a 4-day week. It's funny, isn't it? These sorts of polls. Let me just get that out of the way so you can see what I'm talking about here. Over 60. Oh, Filomena. Talking of Filomena Friday, she's here as well. Bon dia alegria. The originator, the sharer, the first sharer of that phrase with us. We've got you to thank for that, Filomena. So over 60% of Portuguese want a 4-day week. I imagine Filomena is laughing seeing that this morning. There's no way ever, I don't think, that Filomena is going to be doing a 4-day week. She does an 8-day week, caring for expats, taking them around the place, teaching them how to speak Portuguese and so on. 4-day week, really, Filomena, is that likely ever? Anyway, while you consider that, consider this too. This could be a clincher, a deal breaker. I am thinking of going to the Algarve this afternoon, and I'm going to see if this video helps or hinders me in my decision.
Thank you very much indeed, Carl. Time to get a little bit funky, I think. And who doesn't like funky? First thing in the morning.
Good heavens, that puts some lead in your pencil, didn't it? Nice one, Doug. And I think I will go. That swung it. It looks like a great time to have a holiday in the Algarve at the moment. Not too busy. Thank you very much there, Doug, for your wonderful contributions to the show and sending us our guests yesterday, the Glenda and Glenn show in miniature on the Good Morning Portugal show yesterday. Great to meet you both. And don't worry, Pam, I will be sending that picture that you sent in to Glenda so that she can buy this in. It looks like the sort of thing, actually, that you should be buying in a chemist or a sex shop rather than for lavatory cleansing. I still don't understand how that works. But anyway, I'll just leave that hanging there. Who doesn't like to just leave it hanging there first thing in the morning? There you go. 2 of our catchphrases in one sentence, as the actress said to the bishop. Well, hey! Bon dia from the glorious Bairrada, Car Oh, living the dream. Car MOT this morning. Does it get any more exciting than that, Bairandi? Thank you for your meme that you sent in. Dad joke warning coming up here. This is quite. If you're a father driving your children past a prison, you could say, "Look, there's a short person coming down the prison wall. That's a little con descending." Thank you, Andy, for sending that in. Very thoughtful. And good luck with your MOT at the inspection station. They're an experience, aren't they? The motor vehicle inspection stations of Portugal. Stephen Wells is in this morning as well. Bon dia to you. And Jim White. Lovely gathering this morning. I think you're here to see Cátia Lima and not me, I fear. But I'll get over it. Jim, good morning to you. And Bob, excellent Bob. Bon dia, all here. Bon dia, all here briefly before heading out for a new headlight. Oh, does it get any more exciting than this? MOT's new headlights. Oh my goodness, you expats. You're the envy of the world with your incredible schedules. Okay, Joao F. And because the last time I checked, we were still friends, you can say, não tens de quê. Second person singular of the verb ter. Of course you can. I knew that, Joao F. A tour of the university in Coimbra is well worth the time, taking you back to 1290. There was once a locked tower for students who didn't follow the rules. You see, you couldn't do that now, could you? Although I think the students do that to each other. I think there's quite a tradition in Portugal of how elder students can, shall we call it supervise and mentor younger students? And that may be what that tower is for now, for students to lock other students up in. From what I've heard, Antonio F is here. Bon dia todos. How are you this morning, Antonio? Great to have you here. Great performance yesterday from you, I have to say. Still living on in my memory. And what is this? Oh, James and Joao are talking about Portuguese technicalities. I know the application of second person familiar. Check you out, James. But until your succinct and greatly appreciated guidance just now, there was some confusion about familiar application of the phrase. Listen to you, James. And we did talk to James yesterday. If you watched the live stream that came from São Martinho to Portugal yesterday, there's some really good stuff in there. James and Anna talking about speaking Portuguese. Now, let's see if Marty has some good news for us. Muito bom dia, GuMPers. I shall soon be seeing your faces basking in the low autumn sun of Portugal. Isn't that a lovely turn of phrase? Very poetic this morning. Have you got any good news to share with us, though, Marty? I saw a video yesterday of a Hallian. What is that? Eating a pastel de nata with a spoon. Oh, is a Hallian somebody who does gross and convention busting things like that? He was scooping the custard out. It was awful to see. Who can we report that to? Is there a helpline that you can report such crimes against Portuguese culture to? Maybe the president. I don't know. Cátia might be able to tell us about that. And you saw a Hallian eating a pastel de nata at Trader Vic's. His hair was perfect. What, Marty? Now, I want to just very quickly before Cátia Lima is with us, and given that we have do we have any Americans with us this morning? Yes, Marty, of course. Now, midterm elections. I hope you got what you wanted. Now, as soon as I say that, does anyone get what they want from an election these days? If you compare and contrast, let's say a voting was like going to a restaurant. And at the end of your meal in a restaurant, if it were like the electoral process, the waiting staff would come to you and they said, "Was everything okay with your meal?" I said, "No, it was really stressful, thank you, and quite uncomfortable throughout the whole process. It was very difficult to make a choice, and in the end, I just chose the least worst thing on the menu. I'm just really glad we didn't get food poisoning or get hospitalized by the food. But thank you very much. It's been great coming to your restaurant. That's if voting were like going to a restaurant. But then again, it's not as if, it's that important. You're going to a restaurant, you're making that comparison. It's not as if, your voting system determines just about every area of your life. Anyway, I shall move on. Bon dia alegria from Philomena this morning. And the Coach Turner might be and then he just fizzles out there. I don't know what's happened there. Have you got into a plastic cheese induced coma mid-sentence there, Doug? Coach Turner would be proud of me. Okay, there we go. That's he woke up to finish his sentence. 20,000 steps yesterday, looking for a few bars. Yes, that can get quite energetic, can't it? When you're thinking, I'm not going to find a bar. I'm not going to find a bar. Just a little bit. I'll just go another couple of blocks, and then you realise you've done 20,000 steps. That there must be a routine or a book in there, Dougie. And Joao F, I think, still coaching James here. Just a small footnote for your safety, of course. Entiendo is Spanish. Your chances of surviving in Portugal are hugely better if you say entiendo. Very good. Very useful. Thank you very much, Joao, for that and everything you do for our community. I didn't know, says James. Is Portuguese entendo or no word like it to mean percebo? Always looking for variety in my vocabulary. Very good, just like his diet. His linguistic diet, variety, the spice of life. Hello, in from Antonio F. And talking of the Algarve, says Coach Turner, I forgot to shout out to Edmundo. Taxi man Edmundo. He used to come on the show, didn't he, from time to time, who shuttled us between the airport and our hotel near Praia da Faleja. Recommended. Edmundo, if you're watching this morning, we need to get you back on the show because there was a great little feature, Taxi Man Edmundo. Be telling us about things about the Algarve. He's your transfer guy anyway. Sabem. A diferença entre uma sapataria e forno. There's a difference between a shoe and an oven. What's going on here? I think she'll explain that to us tomorrow. And well done, Joao F. and James, keeping that going. I think we need that blogged, though, don't we? It's too good to waste for it to just be flashing before our eyes in the chat and other people not extracting the benefit of your Portuguese lesson. Who doesn't like a bit of Cátia on a Thursday morning? Steady. And no sapataria a sapatos e o forno a sapatos. Oh, okay. I'm going to star that because I think Cátia might have something to say about that particular one. Never liked Spanish sneakers. What? Oh my goodness. Bon dia from VRSA. Morning, Anna. Perhaps see you tomorrow. Anyone just joining for lunch tomorrow at Almansil? Yes, see you there, everybody. I travel on my own and joining the lunch. Do get in touch and say hello. It'd be nice to meet some of you finally. Yes, gathering at Tribulum, I think it's called, tomorrow for that panel that I'll be hosting. And we'll hang out afterwards as well. Fabulous. Okay, we'll come back to your comments a bit later because it's 9 o'clock and we need to welcome Cátia. But just one more. I am en route to Portugal, departed Alaska for Seattle to get a second passport so I could travel to Portugal. Yes, as your passports have been stuck in San Francisco for 4 months now, gathering dust. So no news from you on that, but you're coming to Portugal anyway. Late yesterday afternoon, FedEx attempted delivery of a package from San Francisco. But I was here in Seattle and my wife missed the attempted delivery. We might assume that is good news, but terrible timing. Marty, are you heartened by that, the proposition, the prospect, or the actual attempted delivery of a FedEx package yesterday? I'm feeling good about that. I am so pleased for you, my friend. Nice big round of applause then now. Because coming onto your screen right now, she is beyond Lisbon, everybody. In so many ways. Lima this morning. How are you? Tudo bem?
Hi, bom dia. Sorry for my voice. But...
Oh, you as well, eh? Have you got a bit of a seasonal congestion?
Yeah. Well, like we say in Portuguese, I spent the night thinking fado. We have an expression for that.
you spent the night thinking fado?
Singing, sorry.
Singing. Okay, yes,
yeah.
yes.
Passei a noite a cantar fado.
Very good. That's
I
very
didn't.
useful.
Okay.
No, but I get it. I totally get it. So the worst case scenario would be, as I understand it, sleeping with your feet out the window, which is another Portuguese idiom, isn't it? Having sung fado all night. That would
Yes.
that would leave you in pretty bad shape. So how are you? How have you been since we last saw you a month ago?
I'm okay, thanks. I've been very busy. But okay, yeah. Yeah.
And you're about to do us proud this morning because you have a range of things to discuss with us. Do you know, I don't really like talking about Christmas until about a week before Christmas, but I thought it was very important to make an exception.
Yeah, I mean, for some people, I thought it would be a good idea because not just because it would allow us to highlight small businesses.
Absolutely right.
And because of everyone else who likes to do their Christmas shopping with time and allowing themselves to think stuff through. And even if you don't do Christmas shopping, a lot of this, or all of this, will also be all of these businesses have stuff that you can buy year round. If it's a birthday, a special occasion, or just for yourself, even. So.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Okay. Well, on that basis, I think we should rightly make an exception and commend these businesses to everybody here, and also ask for your recommendations, our dear community here. If you have a recommendation for a small business, an independent business in Portugal, let us know, and we'll add it to our GuMPer store, which I will show you in just a moment. But I think you want to talk about São Martinho as well, which will be celebrated tomorrow. The not so much a festa, but more of a traditional, a saint-based holiday. Who would be São Martinho?
Yeah.
Nothing to do with where I live. Of course, he's named after the place is named after him. But São Martinho is associated with the chestnuts, the eating of chestnuts at this time of year. So please tell us more.
Well, São Martinho is celebrated pretty much all over the country. In some places, maybe more than others, but and it's not a national holiday, but it's I like that surprise look. No, it's not.
Yes, that's right. Like it was a chance to celebrate a national holiday, and Portugal didn't take it. What happened?
What happens is that São Martinho is this time around the mid-November is when traditionally people would go to taste the new wine, and also when in some places they also still do it. They would slaughter pigs to have enough food for the whole, for the winter. Mm-hmm. In that logic of using everything of in some places they still do it. And what else? There's a legend, associated with São Martinho, of course. And just for a change, in terms of Portugal, it's not a legend associated with Moorish princess. So
this is the Maverick Festival, isn't it? There's no holiday and there's no traditional association with this one.
It is associated with wine and chestnuts. And aguapé and jurupiga. Not sure if you've heard of those.
I have. We were talking about jurupiga, and then I went to Castelo Branco last week, and I walked into a little cafe there in Alpedrinha, and just on the behind the counter, jurupiga, and so it's the season, isn't it? They put a sign up.
It is. And even in cities, maybe not so much, but in towns and in villages, you'll find it. Just look around, and around this week, you'll see signs mentioning a local festa where you have usually sponsored by the local town hall, not always, but in many cases, where you have little stalls selling chestnuts and the usual stuff we have in festas, bifanas, all of that. So so what else can I tell you about São Martinho? Oh, you want to know about the legend or not? Yeah,
I may have given the game away a little bit earlier on, but is this the saint who split his cape in two?
Yeah.
I think it's a really important story for our times. I mean, these are perennial stories, aren't they? That I think should be uttered. So please do.
Well, so Saint Martin was a Roman soldier, and according to legend, he was, going about doing his soldier things, but it was very rainy day, stormy weather, and he saw a beggar who had almost no clothes on, and of course the man would surely die from the complications of the aftermath of all this bad weather. So Martin cut off his cloak with his sword, and he handed it to the beggar so he could protect himself. And the god was so pleased with this gesture that the rain stopped, the sun shone through, And that is why around this time of the year you usually have a few good days of sun. In other places they call it Indian summer. Here we have São Martinho.
I see. Well, I'm so glad you told us that, because we did have a San Martino summer in San Martino. There's the picture. There's the evidence. It's as if that Roman soldier came through yesterday and split his cape asunder and wrapped a poor beggar in it. That's quite amazing. And we do recommend it, don't we, Cátia, that people try this today. If you are walking around and you see someone less fortunate than yourself, tear your coat in half and give half of it to somebody else and see if that changes the weather. If it doesn't change the weather, at least you'll make, you'll have half a coat each, I suppose, which is a start.
Yeah, or you could just give the whole coat. I mean,
that would be better. In the days of capes, I guess you could afford to give half your cape away instead of a cape. Having half a jacket is not as practical these days.
Yeah.
But please try it and let us know. Take pictures. No, actually, that would be undignified and unnecessarily Instagramish, wouldn't it? Here's a picture of me giving half my coat to an unfortunate person. Don't do that. That's rather grotesque and vulgar. Just do it and let us know how it went on tomorrow, not yesterday, because that's a different legend altogether. But wow, when you were saying it, he was on his horse doing his Roman soldier thing. I wonder what that might have meant in those days. What do you think?
I don't know. I tend to.
A new pair of sandals?
Sorry.
Going to get a new pair of sandals, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Figures of power are usually not my kind of thing. So being I'm pretty sure he wasn't probably up to anything too good, but I don't know.
But on that day,
Roman soldier things, I don't know.
Yes, but on that particular day, his life and ours changed forever. It's unlikely I would be living in a town called San Martino without him. And it is the as you go into the church, it is the altarpiece. I have a photograph of the depiction of this story, which is above the altar in the church here in San Martino de Porto, up in the old town above the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So we can anticipate roasted chestnuts, of course, this time of year. And you said the first tasting of the wine. So is that what's happened? We've had the colheita, is it called, the harvest? Mm-hmm. And the first wines have been made. The Jerepiga has been made. Probably last year's Jerepiga is being brought out. Is that right? Or is it a first tasting?
And you have GuMPer as well.
Oh, what's that?
I, as you might have guessed, I wrote a blog post about it some time ago.
Can we have the link? Can we have the link to that? I'm sure people would like
to. Because it has an explanation there for this.
Okay. The page.
GuMPer, no é água de pé, GuMPer, 2 words.
Okay.
GuMPer is basically, sorry, I have to go through my notes again.
Don't worry. Take your time. Your blogs are always worth the wait, I think. And so give us a link in the private chat, and I'll make sure everybody. Yes.
GuMPer. Actually, it was forbidden some years ago, but then it's something that's been around for so long that I guess they just turned a blind eye and just because GuMPer is basically what you get when you gather all that those leftovers from stomping the grapes, pomace. Yes. And you add water to it, and you just let it ferment for a few days. So it's like, the kind of thing that will make you grow hair in your chest.
Yes. And who doesn't want to do that? Right.
Me.
Okay, apart from you, who doesn't want to do that? Now, I think you made a fantastic gesture there, which was that means what it packs a punch, right? And that's why they want. And that's why they wanted to ban it, because it's like heavy duty.
Yeah, if it's considered something that's not fully, because it only ferments for a few days. It's not fully, I don't know the word for this, like mature. I don't know. Okay. So it's like something that you do because you just want to get drunk really fast. I mean, that must have been the origin of it, I'm sure.
Okay, which is disgraceful behavior. I mean, can you imagine people just wanting to do that? Why on earth would anybody? Quite right, government. You should crack down on such terrible things. People enjoying themselves with old grape skins or whatever. So it's the debris of the winemaking process, isn't it? And typically Portuguese, like you said, with the pig, I think there's a Portuguese saying, is there not, that everything except the oink is used on the Portuguese pig.
They used the oink as well. So
No, I think the European Union stopped that. You can't do that anymore. No, I'm
yeah.
only kidding. I'm only kidding. That's just a kind of Brexit sort of joke, which is not funny. Okay, so but everything, even so with all of the pig, even the oink, and with the grapes, all of it, all the skins, the what's that, the must.
Yeah,
The Portuguese people don't like to waste things, and that's quite right. This is sustainability long before it was fashionable.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to bear in mind these are traditions that started long, long ago. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Little bit more information about aguape is very popular, especially in the north of the country, where it's getting a bit colder as well, of course, at this time of the year. It keeps you nice and warm, doesn't it? Warms you right through to your bones. And a bit of hair on your chest adds an extra layer of insulation, of course, as well. Also, during other festivities in the autumn and wintertime, it has less alcohol than wine. Ha! Only a paltry 8%. And is the result of adding water to the grape mark and schnapps. Hence the name, literally translated, it means waterfoot. Because the water was added to the bottom of the wort. Wow, my goodness. So really basic stuff, but you can still get a little bit of a hit from it once within a few days of fermentation. Fantastic country skills there. Joao, compliment from Joao F. I just love Cátia's English. It's so fluent. I probably am repeating myself, but then again, I'm entitled to that since I'm getting old. You've only said that 5 times this morning, Joao F, but you're among friends, so we'll tolerate that.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Well, I mean, that is your business as well, isn't it, Cátia?
Yeah.
You're a copywriter.
Yeah.
Your life and work depends on it. And I completely agree with Joao F there. OLP is in this morning. Let's say a few hellos. People wanting to say hello to you this morning. And any questions, of course, for Cátia Lima before we get into those recommendations of those indie brands and your recommendations for indie brands as well. Bon dia, Cátia Lima.
Hey, bon dia.
Mention there, and great news for Marty. I think I'm wanting to think that those that package from FedEx was your passport, or both of them, hopefully, but at least one of them there. What's this? Would you recommend this, Cátia? I am practicing speaking without fear of making mistakes. So referencing correctness less and less before speaking. I'm sure it's going to be a wild ride. Check him out. But that's a good way to go, isn't it? Don't worry too much. Say it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it helps if you're talking with someone who has the time and is, understanding. Yes. But just go for it. Because come on, think about it this way. When children are learning how to speak, right? Everyone makes mistakes. They make mistakes as well, and people correct them, right?
Yes.
So
yes,
gently, but you correct them, right? So it's the same thing.
Yes, my three, or just laughing at them, which is what we should expect as well. My 3-year-old was saying to us, I'm going to lemonade you. I'm thinking, what?
What's that?
Well, he just kept saying it. That's it. I'm going to lemonade you. Right?
Lemonade.
We're not thirsty. We don't really drink lemonade. I don't know why he would. And he picked it up from the gaming screen. Eliminate you. And he was saying, I'm going to lemonade you. So
my kid yesterday said something similar. She was talking about the night lights on the street, and she was saying, "Oh, the streets are, as ruas estão iluminadas instead of being iluminadas, not eliminadas, like terminated."
Oh, eliminated rather than illuminated. Oh, bless, fantastic. We love those. And Joao F, to you from James, my last comment should have been directed at Antonio F, not you. Although it's the F team here. It's easy to get confused. Although I still and always greatly appreciate learning proper Portuguese from you both. He was tuning his Portuguese ear only yesterday. The good news, he says, is that so far today, every error I've made was me second guessing what would have otherwise have been correct. That's progress. That is progress right there. Keep it up, James. Really good. You're an inspiration to the rest of us. That link to the aguape article is in the chat as well now. And I wonder if we have any other questions. We'll come back to the chat. Sorry, go on.
I'd just like to add, since we're talking about, speaking in Portuguese, just like to add that the words you'll probably see around a lot on these days is magusto. It's the words we use for this time of the word, magusto.
Magusto.
Yeah, it's the whole. It's very much of a a gathering of family and friends as well.
Okay.
A lot of people also make. You can make. You've seen them, I'm sure. People selling roasted chestnuts on the
Oh
street.
yeah. They
Yeah.
didn't waste any time. They didn't waste any
Yeah.
time. You know,
No, as soon as summer ended, yeah.
it's what you can smell in the streets. You're thinking, oh, a lovely, somebody's lighting their
Sorry.
fire already. Someone's lighting their fire already. No, it's somebody with the castañeras. That's what they're
Yeah.
called. Castañeras is the
Casta-
chestnuts. Is that right? Castañas.
Vendedores de castanhas.
Castañas. Okay. And what do we know what the origin of Magusto is? Because it sounds to me like a wizard, doesn't it? Behold the mighty Magusto with his roasting chestnuts.
It has to do. It's all connected. The Magusto means all of this: the tasting of the wine, the slaughtering of the pigs, roasted chestnuts. Some people also make baked sweet potatoes.
Yes.
You can also boil. Sorry, you can also boil your chestnuts with erva doce, fennel seeds, I believe.
Oh, really? That sounds good.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
And all of that is Magush. It's this time of the year. It's like I wouldn't say second harvest, but it's like connected to the late harvest. Yes.
And I mean, we've got Owen here this morning, and there could be the inspiration there for a pork dish with a stuffing of roasted chestnuts with fennel. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? And I noticed as well, I don't know if I downloaded the picture from Andy, but he was sending us a picture yesterday or the day before of his. I am going to save this and bring it onto the screen for you because this is seasonal as well. This is a beautiful food that is coming off the trees literally at the moment, and the way they grow is extraordinary as well. This is the shushu. And
yeah.
I mean, some of those are as big as his feet there. If he put his feet in, well, you can see, can't you, from the threshold of the doorway there? That is a big old vegetable. And I'd never seen that hairy shushu hanging down in front of my eye line from a vine. They grow on a vine, don't they?
Yeah.
And some might say they're a little bit tasteless. They're quite fibrous, aren't they? And I think probably by about December, Portuguese people are fed up with them, having tried to put them in soup. It's a good soup thickener, a good natural soup thickener, Andy was saying. But I think if you take that outer skin off, chop them up, bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, and roast them, that's a really nice way to eat those. But then, there's that same dish of pork, boiled chestnuts with fennel, some shushu there, little glass of early wine or jarapiga. Nice autumnal meal, I would have thought. A Magusto special. Yeah, very good. Okay. And you were talking about Christmas as well. And this is the preface, of course, as to why we're talking about these wonderful suppliers who may be the purveyors of excellent Christmas gifts. But this is how people start, I think, isn't it, this time of year? I'm going to make some lovely things for my friends this year. And then you try and narrow down those friends by December and then end up maybe going to one of these creators that we're about to talk about. So thank you very much, Cátia, for getting into the spirit of this indie Portugal vibe. And I think you embody it yourself as an independent business and somebody who speaks about, off-piste Portugal, outside of Lisbon, Portugal. You're very much of the indie spirit as far as I'm concerned. And here you are recommending others, some of whom you've blogged about, some of whom you are a customer of these.
I'm a customer of all of them.
All of them. So they are your personal and very own recommendations.
Yes.
Have you become friendly with these folks as well?
Yeah, some of them. Except one of them is actually a small company, but all of everyone else, they're just what you can call entrepreneurs, basically.
Excellent.
So yes, I know them all personally, and I'm on a friendly basis with all of them. They're people, I've bought from them for myself, for others, as presents. They're people I recommend. So I'm not making any money from this.
There's no reason why you shouldn't, as far as I'm concerned.
Just to make it clear, it's really a personal recommendation.
Yes, complete transparency there.
Yeah.
No affiliate links here, and these are small producers, aren't they? Who probably wouldn't operate in quite that way. But there is a virtue in the recommendation anyway. I think that is our reward this morning, is being able to talk about beautiful things being conceived of and made here in Portugal. And I shared a news item earlier on. If you can, oh no, you can't see under here, but it says, if I can just turn off that ticker tape for a moment, 60% of people, 60% of Portuguese people want a 4-day week. This isn't very likely for the producers we're talking about, is it? I don't think. These are the sort of people, I think, and this is a reason to support them as well. These are the folks that I think who are working probably 8 days a week, and they're putting their heart and soul into their businesses, and they've raised money, they've borrowed money, they work all the time. Probably if they're not working, they're thinking about their business, and I think they deserve our support. And they're Portuguese. I think it's really important that we I was looking at the Portugal news and I think it might have been the Portugal Resident as well, but I was thinking to myself, why is the opening of another Lidl or Mercadona shop news? I mean, and I do understand why it's news, because, okay, people want to know that there's now a shop nearer to them, or there are now 7 supermarkets instead of 6 in their town. But it's like free advertising, isn't it, for the corporations? And so if we could redress the balance a little bit and share the indie brands who don't have massive marketing budgets and PR departments. Today, folks, we are the marketing and PR team of some of these lovely indie brands. And can we have your first recommendation then, please, Cátia?
Yeah, okay. So in no particular order, my first recommendation would be, can I send you the links or put the links on the private chat?
I'll take them from where you sent them to me before. That's fine. I can find those.
Okay. So my first recommendation would be Claudia from Little Stitches, Portugal. She has she's quite active on Instagram.
Yes.
She does something which I don't really recall how I first came across her on Instagram. But she does something which I find to be truly amazing. She lives in Castelo Branco, and she works with mostly with traditional embroidery from Castelo Branco, which in itself has an amazing history and lots of traditions around it.
Mm-hmm. I think we should. I'll get it up on the screen so that you can see what we're talking about here. But that's going to take me a moment. So, what's your personal? Have you bought gifts or
I have. She does. For those who don't know, the Castelo Branco embroidery is something that's very, very specific, and traditionally is used in things like quilts, for example, big, super elaborate quilts. And she has adapted some of that to make little things like pins. I have one of the links. I'm not sure I sent you the link from the blog, because I wrote a blog post about her.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I sent you that. She makes these little. Sorry.
No, I'm not sure you did, but we can see the exquisite work there. I mean, isn't it beautiful? Look at that.
She makes. And the thing is, as you might imagine, these are things that, the quilts and all of that, they become super expensive because, it's something that uses noble materials like the silk thread and all of that. So, and lots of time, of course. So what she did, or one of the things she's done so far, is adapt those designs into smaller things. So one of the things I've bought were pins that are covered in fabric, and then you can choose what design you want to have embroidered there. All of those little designs, like the flowers, the acorns, all of that has a specific symbolism.
Does it?
So, so it makes the whole thing even more, personalized, even more intimate, so to speak.
Yes.
So So when you, for example, imagine you're choosing something to give someone that, is close to your heart, someone you care about, you can choose, actually, you can talk to her and she'll let you know, okay, this means this means that, or you can check the blog post because some of them are there. And you can choose a design according to that, for example. She also does, that's one thing I've ordered from her. Another thing was little linen sachets that she embroidered with flowers as well in this case. Sachets that you can use to have anything, like your earphones or whatever.
Your mobile phone, like artisanal mobile phone pouch, perhaps.
Yeah, and she also teaches. She's also teaching at the moment.
I saw that. Yes, so she's running workshops, so you can go and learn how to do this as well. How beautiful is that?
If you don't like this sort of thing, she also does other things with I'm not sure. I hope she doesn't get mad at me, but I think it's called freestyle embroidery, something like that. It's more of a modern design, but still with embroideries. And you can choose a design like something that's meaningful to you. Like you can have your family, embroidery. It's like as if it were a drawing, basically.
Wow, look at
She
that.
does a lot of things.
Yes. Yeah, it's superb, and loving the idea that it's a reflection of traditional skills from the
Yes,
the embroidery tradition over there, and she's keeping that alive. And she looks quite a character as well, I've got to say. So she looks like she's a larger than life personality. Am I right?
She is, but she doesn't like. You've seen her there recently on recent posts showing up. She doesn't like showing up. That was a little bit of a struggle. She likes being behind, her work.
Yes.
But yeah, and she's very much of a perfectionist. She's super because it's amazing. People don't know, but I was talking. I interviewed her for the blog, and while we were talking before the interview, she needs to have certain cares with specific care with her hands and the fingernails, because she uses Cristal Branco embroidery uses silk thread.
Yes.
So you can't have fingernails that are not properly smooth and all of that, because it's just going to ruin the whole thing.
They are the tools of her trade, aren't they?
Yeah.
I've trained as a massage therapist, and I used to work in the West Country of the United Kingdom. And I remember one day it was a mixture of massage and a pain relief treatment. And I was working with this older lady who'd worked in cheese making in the west of England. And her hands were so beautiful. And she told me the story of how, her hands were giving her pain in old age, because she was telling me how they would get the curds of the dairy curds and put them into muslin and squeeze them. And they were making cheese by hand. And this is how her hands got to be painful for her. Yeah. But as I was massaging her hands and doing a pain relief treatment, I was looking at her hands thinking, these hands are so beautiful. They, for decades had been making cheese, like making a real thing for real people. And it was there, right there in her hands, which is just such a beautiful thing. You can see that here as well, can't you? That these are the tools of the trade for this wonderful woman here. This is Claudia Simoes we're talking about. Wonderful. So that's the first recommendation there. And João F, appreciating what we're doing this morning. This is a wonderful thing you're doing right now. And we will continue to do this every Thursday that Cátia is with us. I mean, we fortunately, Cátia, we are lucky in Portugal, aren't we, that we have got a lot of businesses that we can find, I think, and share with people. Yeah. The problem is their publicity and their profile. And we'll do our best to absolutely, to sing it from the rooftops, all these wonderful things that we can find. And we rely on your recommendations as well, everybody that is, that we're talking to this morning. Spreading the word about local Portuguese businesses certainly is a way to help support Portuguese families and keep economy working at its most simple, immediate level. There's some politics right there. And who could disagree with that unless you're a complete globalistic narcissist? But anyway, I will stay away from making such controversial statements like that. That's fabulous. Let's see what else people are saying this morning before we go to the 2, 3, and 4 of the recommendations. Antonio's had to go to work, but he may well watch on the catch up. And I suspect Antonio will have 1 or 2 recommendations. See you tomorrow, mate. By Antonio says. Marty, who's on his way to Portugal. Want to meet you, Marty, when you're in town, please. It's so unfair, says Roaf. Today's science and technology should be able to allow smells to be sensed through the computer screen. Talking of cheese making, would that be a good idea, Roaf? On the GMP show, we keep talking about so many good foods and drinks. Can you imagine, though, Cátia? I think when we were talking about Magusto, I'm sure João was smelling chestnuts.
Yes.
It's not in your mind's ear, is it? It's in your mind's nose that you smell this. And maybe the aroma of jalapeño as well. Sorry, you were going to say something.
No.
Okay. Look at this. Apple is working on it. Well, we know what their first smell is going to be, don't we? It's either going to be the smell of Steve Jobs or the smell of Did you just say or literally? Or literally no. Apple fans would love the smell of Steve Jobs, wouldn't they? If they worship the altar that is Apple, and a little waft of Steve Jobs wouldn't go amiss for them, I'm sure. But it may actually be an apple that they're working on. Scentability. That is an amazing bit of technology. Hey, have you got a nice herbal tea there?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to be talking to Munson for an hour. I need a cup of tea on standby. Okay. I like number 8. Now, what was number 8? I wonder, Paul. Morning to you, Paul Garcia. What were you talking about there? Did we give out numbers? I wasn't sure we did that. It was maybe one of these. Number 8 of Claudia Simoish's lovely embroidered works there. Bob is here this morning and telling us about the Apple making smells. Do you think it will be operational in our lifetime? Do you think they'll have nose buds then, Katia? You know how they've made earbuds?
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe.
I mean,
I'm guessing maybe they'll start with a library of a database for smells,
Simple.
and then people will be able to add some
and mix them. You can upload your own smells to the cloud.
Maybe, yeah.
That's such a terrible idea. Upload. Apple announced Elon Musk will do it. I mean, the clue is in his name, Elon Musk. He needs to be the man who gets the head with this, right? Uploading your own aromas to the cloud and then downloading other people's. I don't think we should go down this road.
No. I can imagine that going very, going horribly wrong in the hands of teenagers, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you're smoking and you download the wrong smell, and as an explosion, your phone explodes because you press the wrong button. This is a terrible idea, Apple. Please don't do it. And I just don't want to see that human being with a mask on, earbuds and nose buds. And it's going to look awful, isn't it? That is not what we want. Get back to the country life and the basics that we're talking about this morning. Support local businesses. Thank you, Joao, for your comments there. Very cool, says Marty. Handcrafted items are ottimo. Yes, got to support local economy when possible. And there are so many unknown people who do not seek popularity, but rather our recognition by just giving ourselves a chance of buying their products. Exactly, Joao. That is what we're talking about, and help them grow and build a life. Yes, let's do our very best. And just imagine the smell hackers. Yes, just one more thing then on this, because if you the way this technology would work with our entrepreneurial mindsets here, Katia, is you could say on Valentine's Day, you could say, I'm delivering you, my dear wife, the smell of 12 roses. And if the hackers get in before that and do what I think you were suggesting teenagers might do, and she opens up that what's it going to be? It's not going to be an MP3, is it, or an MP4? Maybe the MP5 is a smell file that comes through the phone. And if a hacker's been in there and has changed the roses into something else, that's it. Your marriage could be quite seriously, destabilized.
You could get into serious trouble with that. Yes.
Look at this. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. We must do our best in a kind of superhero way to stop this happening before it gets any worse, as we've imagined this morning. Selection number 2, then, from you, please.
Selection number 2. We're going to Guimarães to Raquel from Ideias da Nena to talk about Raquel. Raquel, she does. Sorry.
No, I'll find that now.
I sent you the Instagram link on the.
She is
Ideias da Nena.
Of course.
Nena is the nickname, so to speak, the petit nom from her daughter, because her name is Raquel, not Nena.
Okay, I've got it. All right, and that's how these companies are named sometimes, isn't it? In this beautiful way, referencing a family member or a pet, even, or something like that. I've got to say, I didn't understand what this was about. So could you explain this one to us?
She does basically lots of stuff with fabric, meaning like book covers, for example, phone cases. Sorry, my mouse just went south. Like lunch bags, all of that with fabric. And the thing is, you can choose your own fabric from what she has, of course. And you can also suggest something like, I think she recently started making makeup bags. I'm not sure if that was after someone suggested it or not, because even if it was, she's super creative. She loves, I mean, you can tell most of this is aimed at, women and, girls, but
yes.
if you have any specific idea, just talk to her, and I'm sure she will be able to do something special for you. It's because she does that. She does personalized items as well, and she loves, coordinating fabrics, and she loves all the details. She absolutely loves that. And you
Ah,
can see, yes, see,
she's making that.
yes, that's
She's
one of the things she makes.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very, very good. So that's
And
Raquel.
she also has this super duper phone cases that are great to take or to the beach, because you can use your phone.
Good,
Yes, you
yes.
can use your phone without without problems, having problems with with water or sand. And it includes a little space for putting like some change or something that you want to add there as well.
Very good. So you
Uh,
can buy a Bolo de Berlin when the man comes past as well on the beach.
exactly.
Yeah.
See, aha,
Don't forget the change for the Bolo de Berlin.
Yeah,
On
yeah,
the beach.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
She's brilliant. And so she's
yeah,
making these things to order. You can influence
yeah,
the products as well. Another fantastic
yeah, yeah.
recommendation. And
And
you
the
know her.
packagings, I
I can
know
talk.
her. Yeah,
Yeah.
the packaging itself, it's something like, for example, if you order for Christmas or any other time, the package itself is like already gift wrapped. It's beautiful. She takes a lot of attention, to detail.
Yes.
These are the phone cases I was telling you
There we
about.
go. Ah, and so it's plastic on the front, so you could still use your phone without the sand and the sea getting into there. And you've
Yeah,
got your zip at the top, presumably for a little bit of that change that you
yeah,
you,
yeah,
you were
yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
What
yeah,
a brilliantly creative woman! Another
yeah,
one.
yeah.
And this you said this Kimono, so she's up in the north, but
Yeah.
she'll ship these all over the
Yeah,
world.
yeah, 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 yeah. I actually once I ordered I think it was one of these cases, I'm not sure, to be sent to Germany to a friend of mine, and everything went smoothly. So yeah.
There we go. There it is in action.
Yeah, see?
I've got to give that a heart myself now. Look at that. Superb. Brilliant stuff. Okay, so lots of ideas then. We're quite right to be talking about Christmas at this time of year, which gives people a time to get in touch with
Yeah.
these providers. And this is why they work so hard, isn't it? They're innovating these things.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
think
sorry, go on.
so I was gonna say, in most, if not all of these cases, these are people who are also very creative, and they totally, put their hearts and their minds in their work, because it's not just about making like bookcases or phone covers or whatever. They actually, want to make something that's useful, that's pretty, that you know fulfills the client's needs. And like, for example, in the case of Raquel, she's always coming up with new fabrics and adding details which you can you can remove them or whatever, but she has this all of this creativity,
And
which I think
customization.
is amazing. Yeah,
I think it's amazing as well,
yeah,
and that's what's so wonderful about these folks, isn't it? Is that the sort of globalized hyper corporate approach to this would be to, okay, we've got the design, now let's make loads of Chinese kids make these, and we'll order them by the 500,000, and we'll do a massive marketing campaign, and we'll get them in all the supermarkets, and in the end we'll sell them cheap because we've just got to shift it all. That is a miserable vision of the future and even the present in some cases, isn't it? And here
yeah,
you are, you could be supporting somebody who's got like a cottage business up in Guimarães, who's putting their heart and soul into it. And not only are they thinking about innovating products and then making them themselves, then they've got to go to the post office at the end of the day, haven't they? And post them
yeah,
all out around the world.
yeah, yeah,
This is
yeah,
this is why I think people who are running businesses like this should be supported, and why sometimes, although I'm going to say I don't suppose these things are that expensive anyway, but that's why you're paying an extra premium. We've become very spoiled, haven't we? When
yeah,
things are in this sort of globalized sweatshop production, someone's got to pay the price for that, and it's usually the people in the other country who are paying the price for our
yeah,
savings at this end. And this seems to be much more honest and authentic and right, is
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
pay the real cost, right? Pay that woman what
yeah,
she needs to live and to thrive and to be creative, and
yeah.
get yourself some lovely handmade things. So that, yeah, sorry to bang the drum a little bit this morning, but I think it's
No,
quite
no, no,
important.
no. I was just going to add, even if you think really just in terms of the money, like this is expensive, this is cheap.
Yeah,
Like, for example, in this case with Raquel, and the previous example with Claudia, you can you can tell them, I want this with this sort of fabric with these details. Being able to personalize an item like this, is in itself amazing, I think.
It is. And I know where I'm going to get my next makeup bag from now. So that is brilliant. You've really helped me out this morning with that one, Katia. We're halfway through our recommendations, and Louise has joined us. Bon dia just joined. Love Katia's mission. Totally agree. And just followed on Instagram. Thanks for sharing. Don't go anywhere, Louise, because Katia's got more for you. That drum is worth banging, Cole. Totally. Oh, cheers, Louise. And people don't realize all the costs involved in running a business. So quite right. We're getting behind these producers this morning, and there will be more to come. We'll keep doing this, and all of them. If you're missing where to find these folks with all the links, I have put them all together in the GuMPer store, because that's what we want to do. That's how we want to support as well as Good Morning Portugal. That's what our GuMPer store is about. We're not really selling anything there. Well, we're selling these people who are selling things, basically. So if you want to visit the growing number of independent producers, independent businesses, there's one neat and nifty place to find them, and that's on the link that I've just put in the chat. So let's go to number 3 then, please, Katia.
Number 3. I would like to talk about Denise from Filhos da Terra. Denise, I first met her way back in 2013. I was in Oliveira do Hospital, and there was this little fair, and she was there with her stall, selling several things, most of them soaps. Now, here's the deal. Yeah. What really surprised me and impressed me in a very good way was that not only does she make soaps and ointments. At the time, I think she was making mostly soaps, ointments, and deodorants. She has more products now, like solid shampoos, stuff like that. One of the things that impressed me the most was that she did everything. Like most of the flowers and the plants that she used were, she planted them herself. She harvested the items. She did everything. The macerated oils, even the stamps. Sorry, no, that's not one. No.
Is that not sorry? So have I
No.
gone
I'm going to send you the link.
Oh, okay, all right. But this is a good business as well.
Yeah, I'll go to I'll go to that one later. Yeah. And Denise, even the stamps, you'll notice she'll have the packaging has this stamps. She makes the stamps herself as well. She does, she takes care of the whole process. And in 2017, I'm not sure if you're already in Portugal at the time, but even if you weren't, you probably then you must remember the big fires of 2017.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, she lost virtually everything at the time, so she had to go back and start from scratch, basically, almost from scratch. And she's now living in Arganil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And she does a lot of things, not just the soaps, not just deodorants. She has products for babies as well. She has the solid shampoos.
Bless
her.
And
she does a lot of things. She does it all on her own. And she takes a lot of care and pride in choosing really natural products, and as much as possible also using locally sourced sorry, I'm forgetting the words.
Materials, yeah. Well, look at this as well. This summer, this is she's blogging. Again, this is another thing these makers have to do. Well, they don't have to, but this is what they do as well. They're making the stuff, and then they're writing about the stuff to promote their wares. And so she's a blogger as well as a creator of these wonderful things. This summer ended with an unexpected scent of autumn. With an equally unexpected abundance and the need to preserve it. So you don't need this on your phone, on your technology. You can buy these aromas from this wonderful lady. Sorry, what was her name again?
Denise,
okay. I spent several weeks transforming the wonders of the year, filling more canned food jars than I ever could with tomato pulp, pepper taste, preserved courgette, eggplant, blackberry jam, tomato, plum, grape juice, apple, elderberry, syrup, all the summer energy preserved in jars. What a lovely way of looking at it, for when you need it, and an essential base for those who live with what the earth gives. Liking this woman more and more the more we read. In the meantime, I went to Lausanne to give a workshop on natural soap. Oh, so you can do a workshop with her in collaboration with Planta do Gisto in Cerdeira at an event promoted by the Cressa Association. These are all things we need to know about. And I came from there full of good energy and the desire to return to the wood stove to prepare more alchemy. So another alchemist in the community here, and this is what she's making, right? Not just the soaps, but all sorts of incredible concoctions now: balms and ointments, hair care, deodorants, other products, natural soaps. Incredible! Look at that. What are balsamos? Are they ointments?
Yeah, ointments. Yes.
Ointments.
I
Incredible.
think she has one, at least one, specifically for to be used as an aftershave. So there's something there for the gentleman.
Something for the gentleman as well. Look at this. Fantastic. And that's Denise, isn't it? Who you can see there. That's Filhos da Terra. So that means like the sons of the earth. Is that right? The children of the earth?
Yes.
What a great name. And to come back from the adversity of the fires in 2017 and to rebuild everything. There you go. There's another hallmark of the great entrepreneur and the trier in the independent business market. Denise, we salute you, and you as well, Cátia, for bringing these wonderful folks to us. They are in the GuMPer store, all in one place there. And the one I mistakenly shared, I think, is our
We
final.
can go to that one now.
Okay,
Might as well.
Doçaria do Sol, isn't it, that we're looking at?
Doçaria do Sul, yes. I was there. Let me just get the link here. So Alexandra from Doçaria do Sul, they're located in Silves. They're quite central. I was there in August. I have a friend who lives in Silves, and we were there for her birthday. I think it was the first time that she tried making like a little gathering in the shop. We were a total of 5 adults and 3 kids, aged 6 and 7. The kids didn't really stop, around a lot, as you might imagine, but she has a little shop. She sends, her products to any place in the country. If you're anywhere near the area, if you're near the area, I really recommend going there and visiting the shop, so you can also, take a look at things, especially if you're not familiar with some of these products, the traditional ones.
Yeah,
yeah.
See, when you started talking about soap before, I was thinking this is the best soap I've ever seen, and I was thinking I can't wait to smear that onto myself. But this is different. She's a maker.
No. She sells them. She doesn't make them. She sells them.
So she brings it all together. Okay.
But the thing is, she has this she has a network of people making these things in the most traditional possible way.
Very good.
So it's nothing about quick solutions or.
She's a curator. She's a curator of these delightful. And Silvish, in case you don't know, in the Algarve, of course.
Yes.
And look at these little delights and fancies. So she's bringing
all that
these
is
other
made by
makers.
Yes.
And what would they be? They'd be like a little almond sort of icing.
Yes, that's called doce fino. That's tradition of the Algarve.
Is it?
Although today you can also find it in specialty shops in cities, but traditional is from the Algarve, and they're filled that outer layer. Oh, that was on my friend's birthday, I think. Well,
was it?
The outer layer is made with marzipan.
Yes.
And then inside you'll have this filling with egg.
Beautiful. Fantastic.
And if you want, I just would like to add, she also has other things that are not so traditional, but which are also made in the Algarve. One of the things I tasted there, she has drinks as well, like melosa, for example, traditional drinks. One of the things I tasted there, which was not, again, like traditional from the Algarve, but was made there, was vegan cheese made with cashews, I believe, and had some herbs on top. She bought some for us to taste. It was really good. So if you don't think that she only has, traditional things, because she doesn't. She has other things as well.
Vegan cheese, cutting edge. Very good.
Made in the Algarve, produced in the Algarve.
Made the Algarve as well. That's incredible, isn't it? That's Doçaria do Sol there. Have we done 4? Or was that 3 or 4? Because I think we've got another one to bring in. We've got the wonderful people who bring another company. Yeah, that brings the more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. And Rebel Mum was in this morning. Hola, bon dia. Completely agree. Shop. I can't say this last bit, but I don't think you're a big fan of Amazon. She's using a new Portuguese there, I think. João F. When many amongst us speak of business owners, they immediately think of huge firms and corporations. Let us keep in mind that even in countries like Germany, local small businesses ensure more than half of the jobs. Yes, good point, sir. Look in Instagram for local artists in your area. I don't do Christmas, but I'm taking a ceramics class of tree decorations with a local artist in my aldea. Please, can you recommend them to us for our GuMPer store? Let's spread the word. Rebel Mama, good to see you here this morning. Like Rebel Mama, I no longer do Christmas, but I love these recommendations. Will certainly be treating myself to some of these. There you go. And Lord Gilchrist is in, apparently. There are people screaming his name this morning. And he's screaming back at various people. Yeah, there was another one, wasn't there? If I go back to...
Yeah. I just like to stress what can't remember the name. Someone just said these are just ideas for Christmas, but they're not. Don't focus only on Christmas. I mean, these are just ideas that you can, can buy from them year round.
Yes, indeed. It was for people. We were thinking, weren't we? Some people might be struggling. People who do Christmas might be struggling for inspiration. And we are here to help this morning. I mean, I think we agree. We don't like talking about Christmas on the 10th of November necessarily. I mean, in the supermarket. Talking about the corporates, they had Christmas stuff out before flipping Halloween. Sorry, go on, Cátia.
No, I was just going to say, because the next show would be too close to Christmas to do this. And one of the things you have to bear in mind when working with or ordering products from small businesses, you don't want to leave it to the last minute.
No, that's right. That's right.
So
more stress for them, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Well, just as we scroll down to find these and just review where we've been this morning, you can see what we're trying to do is bring together independent media, local markets. I mean, I've only got two there. There are markets all over Portugal. This should be humming at some point here. Health and Happiness, where we've got Filhos da Terra, we've got Little Stitches, who you've featured this morning. And of course, our very own Leona in the community as well, who makes lovely concoctions for the body with an effect on the mind as well. We have our section now on music, arts and crafts. And stick around, we're going to play that Gavin Holligan track to finish this morning. We had the Ideias de Danena as well. And I think our final one in food and drink. Oh, Doceria de Sol, where we've been this morning as well. Cave gift boxes in the Alentejo got in touch with me. We'll get them on the show at some point. They're bringing together some nice looking hampers. But you wanted to shout about Samir this morning. If I pronounce it
Samir, which means to sew.
Samir. Okay, there we go. There we see. Actually, what you've sent me is their catalogue, and we will put that.
I can send you from the catalogue. I think you can. You can check the website. I'm going to send you the website as well.
I'll get the catalogue up on the screen because this is very beautifully photographed, right?
Yeah.
And what is it you like about these guys?
It's like this. They have, they have this, hampers and baskets which are aimed at Christmas, but behind all of this, they work year round. They don't do just this. They have their shop. They have they sell their products. And the thing is, they are located in Lisbon, and they employ people with learning disabilities.
Okay.
So people who would probably otherwise be outside of the normal work market, so to speak.
Yes.
And besides that, a lot of the products that they sell are totally or partially made there by them. So in some cases you can have, and you'll see on the catalog, they explain they have each product on the label. You'll have a number, and the number is correspondent to what they call the level of cooperation. So you have for example, you can have a Christmas hamper that has a bottle of wine. The wine, of course, is not made there, but you can have a chutney that's completely made there with with products that they grew there.
Gotcha.
So it's completely, some of the things are completely made there. In other cases, at least some of the products, at least some of the materials used in the final product will have been, from there.
Entirely sold. This is a lovely idea. You have been singing Fado, haven't you?
I have. I'm sorry.
No, It's me that should apologise, like making you speak where you obviously need to. We've only got a few more minutes to go of the show today, so no problem there. You've done an amazing job, and I've stuck on the Tabwa selection here. Can I ask you while we're looking at this?
Yeah.
Lombo turns out to be one of my favourite cuts of meats here. What is the lombo? How would you describe that?
Oh, good question. I don't know. I'm not the best person to to. I'm sorry. I don't.
No, okay.
I would just like to add. I'd just like to add that they have these hampers and baskets, and boxes, but you can make your own.
Okay.
And you can also get the sorry, my
Don't
brain
worry.
is
I think all that Fado singing last night.
it's getting to me. You can also buy the cases and the bags to go with
It's got you the packaging. All right.
Yeah.
Lombo is a cut of meat. Thank you very much for that.
I don't know exactly which. That's the
no,
thing.
but it just turns out it's consistently good in my experience. But anyway, that's just my personal meat life going on there. Other occasions are available. Yes, of course they are. If for instance, Thursday. Today is an occasion. Why not get onto these websites and treat yourself to a few things, folks? Amazon are getting a bashing this morning. Sometimes it comes into its own, but there are other times where we perhaps could avoid Amazon, and they're getting quite the bashing. Also, some products are junk. Oh, we got into a bit of negativity there, Lord Gilchrist, and their prices aren't as competitive anymore. So there you go. Not even competitive, and a bit of a lottery as to whether it will arrive or not. So stick with these independent producers that Cátia has so beautifully shared with us this morning. We need to let her rest her voice now. Quite frankly, I have lived in Portugal all my life, and there's nothing I could buy through Amazon that I desperately needed or haven't been able to do without. That's quote of the morning. Well done. Lombo being a fillet. And Andrew Gilchrist, yes, indeed. I had to buy some anti-allergen mattress covers because up here in the north, I literally couldn't find any. So the only time you go there, by the sound of it, is when you can't get it anywhere else, Rebel Mama. Well done. Yes, that's because you know where to get things here. For newcomers, it's difficult to know where to shop. Well, that's what this show's about, Rebel Mama. Just come and ask the questions, and people like Joao F and Cátia will help you, especially when you live out in the boonies. Lol. Great to have you here, Rebel Mama, this morning. And so semiar.pt for that particular provider there. We're going to finish with a song this morning. Lord Gilchrist, you're going to like this because I know you like a bit of soul and jazz. Is that a music you would like as well? No singing along to this though, Cátia, okay?
Yes.
Do you like this genre of do you like the genre of soul music?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, then you might want to stick backstage to hear this from the great Gavin Holligan. But before we go there, thank you so much. Will you? I've just sunk down in my seat slowly this morning. Will you come back and recommend more to us nearer to Christmas?
Yeah.
Right,
I'm already thinking about something for Christmas, but it's going to be next month, so I don't know.
Yes, and do you know what? It was in Portugal that I reinvigorated and recaptured the spirit of Christmas, I have to say. Because I like Rebel Mama and Louise here. I've been very indifferent and sometimes hostile towards the celebration of Christmas. And it was in Portugal probably 2 or 3 years ago when I saw how Portuguese people dealt with Christmas, celebrated Christmas. I thought, I am being a miserable old sod, basically. And I'm not saying you are, Rebel Mama, or that Louise is, but I know I was. And it was just my own stuff that I was projecting onto Christmas. And I thought, this is a beautiful festival here. And I'm going to get into the spirit of it for the sake of my kids and for the sake of not looking like a miserable old sod, to everyone I speak to. So I've got Portugal to thank for that, re-energizing and reconnecting me to the spirit of Christmas, because there's something special in there somewhere underneath all the supermarket stuff.
Yeah.
Did someone say Fado going tonight near me and next week? Be careful with that singing, because otherwise you'll end up with your feet out the window and there's probably another Portuguese idiom for gravel in the throat or something like that, isn't there? See you tomorrow, says Paul. And thought Carl was about to say he reinvigorated his youth. That as well. Don't get me started. I agree, Carl, with Christmas here. It's much nicer than the US. By the way, I'm a Muslim, and that's why Okay, she's brought a note. I used to be in assembly. I used to say I was Jewish to get. I'm not saying I'm not saying you're not a Muslim, rebel mama, but I used to say I was Jewish in school assembly so that I could go out and probably have a cigarette. God forgive me, please. Right? Okay. But don't do that, kids. Do not do that, kids. Okay. Thank you so much, Cátia. Great work.
Thank you so much for being here.
Let's finish with a little bit of music. Oh no, we got some dad jokes. Okay, I wrote a song about tortillas, but it's more of a rap. Oh, that got her by surprise. The early bird catches the worm, but I prefer to sleep in and wait for pancakes. And to whoever stole my copy of Microsoft Office, I will find you. You have my word. They're good. Nearly forgot those. All right, all the best, everybody. Have a great morning. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you tomorrow with some Philomena Friday. Cátia Lima, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, and let's go now to the wonderful Gavin Holligan to play you out, and we'll just leave it at that today with this Gavin Holligan track, which I think is very timely and appropriate given what's going on in the world right now.